The Exit, a short story read by the author. He had his hand on the handle. It was slowly moving toward the ground. He almost pulled it toward himself. But then the young blond man in a grey suit jumped away from the door with fear in his eyes. The gate to freedom, made out of firm birch planks, still stood tall in front of him. The room was quite small. 2 chairs, an unmade bed, 1 table, a single open window, a little door leading to a rather poor bathroom, a pile of clothes leaning on the wall, and a poster of a play which the owner of the room recently attended. The image hanging over the bed depicted 2 black, manly silhouettes. Behind them was a huge naked white tree, conjoined with the plot of land in the same color. The rest of the, undoubtedly, work of art has been covered in 2 hues of red in a way that makes the person examining it think of those curtains which are commonly used in theaters. The title of the play was located at the bottom, under the men. He carefully tore down the poster in the evening, right after attending the drama from a nearby fence. He didn't do it by himself, which added a very romantic element to the whole experience, as well as to the image itself. The man took off his jacket and put it in on the chair, sat down and, afterwards, looked around the room. To his surprise, he was still alone. No one had showed up, not even a single soul. He started staring with a great deal of anguish and an immense amount of horror into the very fabric of the bright wood that had trapped him in this prison. It was still there. It wasn't any closer. It wasn't any further. All the time in the same place. Nothing has changed, yet maybe something should, if he wants to make it on time. But does he want to make it? Is he certain about that? What is so amazing in this whole making it on time? It isn't original. A lot of people made it, and a lot of people didn't make it on time. It's not pleasurable, because even if you make it on time, then you have to run somewhere else, because of the universal threat of not being on time. You can even lose track, become confused, and not make it on time to the thing that you were supposed to make it on time, because of being on time to an occasion that didn't really require you make it in on time. Yet, is this really the time that I should be late? Are there any other things at the moment that require my attention and me make it on time? No, right now nothing of that sort comes to my mind. In any case, he threw himself down onto the bed. His shirt was already crumpled, so nothing in the entire world had changed because of his actions, except for the space that was inhabited by him in that moment. All of this certainly didn't help with him making it on time. The piece of furniture made for sleeping was not designed to handle the force of the impact, so it crunched a little, bended a bit, but in the most part didn't change its use by breaking down. It stayed the same, like all other things. The scent of the bedding was unpleasant, which helped him to remember something. After all this, he will have to meet her. He usually felt great while doing that, but today he wasn't so sure about the nature of this experience. This time he was in fear of what might happen between them. For a long time, something seemed to be taking place, an uncertain process that creates tension without the knowledge or know-how of anyone. It seemed that today it will be brought up. His back straightened up and the head moved from the bed. He started profusely staring into the door, as if he wanted to pierce them with the intensity of his reality. Something changed between them, and he didn't know how to react and what that change entailed. He wanted to keep it going, but knew that she is probably still undecided. She always took her time to develop an opinion about what should be done. The man didn't. The fear-inducing mist started appearing both in his vision as well as in his mind. It enveloped almost everything, and to a certain degree it brought comfort. He didn't really want to fight back, so all he did was put his head right into a pillow. Yet, after a while, a wasp flew right into the flat. Its sound attracted the attention of the nearly sleeping man, and, to an extent, invigorated him. It landed on a bowler hat of one of the wall silhouettes, and consecutively changed its place to the treetop. The play with the loose insect would definitely add a little flavor and charm to the whole performance. The actors would be at the whim of this little but fierce creature. Thus, the man considered theaters to not have enough buzzing and humming in them, and started to think that someone should do something about that. Without a sound, a piece of paper and a glass from the table had slipped into the dexterous hands of the up-and-coming heckler. He snuck up under the poster, with one quick move trapped the wasp in the glass, and lastly put the piece of paper between the art piece and the improvised prison, eliminating the last glimmer of hope that the flying creature had of escaping. The jail was transported onto the table, when the danger of the prisoner becoming free once more was avoided. A fork was used on a water bottle in order to create a habitat in which the insect could breathe seamlessly. The man closed the plastic container with the wasp in it. The thought of him releasing the newly acquired convict when Lady Macbeth is in the process of convincing her husband to kill his sovereign brought a smile to the usually grim-looking face. He was really pleased with his avant-garde idea, but then he froze. The realization that he still didn't do anything to make it on time seemed a bit disheartening and a little overwhelming. This time the poster piqued his interest. Maybe I'm waiting for my exit, but it won't ever come into my life. What if I'll be wasting my time in this room forever? What then will happen with everyone else? What will happen with the imprisoned insect? It'll probably die of hunger and wither away. Maybe it'll be better if I release the wasp. Maybe I should. He made his way to the opened window, and with firm moves of his hand unlocked the briefly lasting prison of the creature. The wasp flew out to enjoy the magnificence of insect life. The weather was beautiful, the street full of cars, and the walkways sparsely populated. A faint sound of a train vibrated throughout the neighborhood. Maybe it would be better to be a wasp. The only thing that you have to make it on time to is a meal made out of nectar, some meat, or whatever you find. Doors and door frames don't have to hinder that endeavor. Only somewhat occasionally you'll find specimens that will trap you, kill you, imprison you, maybe release you. They aren't always so negative. Sometimes they might help you, pamper you, heal your broken leg, give you something to eat. And yet, there isn't as much of those positive specimens as those that do harm. He noticed a pair of people going in the direction of a park. They seemed happy and carefree. A man in a business suit was rushing in the same direction as they, few meters behind them. He, on the other hand, was stressed out and angry. That's the deal with the human race. We do everything. We are capable of having every emotion, experiencing everything that there is to experience. People build everywhere, walk on everything, do what is there to be done, enter every possible place, after which they come out, always judging. If someone does something in the wrong way, they will always point it out and laugh at you. And what if? He looked at the door. What if they will come up here and see that I haven't already left? He put on his suit and walked out.